I have to have a sip of coffee before I start talking. Okay. Here we are again. Hello, everyone. This is MJ, and I have a BookTube channel called Reading This Life. My channel normally is where we talk fiction, friends, and fun. So today, maybe we'll just talk fiction and friends. Maybe we'll just talk about friends and support each other. Over the summer, I did a video like this when the news about Neil Gaiman first came out. It hit a lot of us so hard. Didn't see it coming. You know, out of left field, totally out of character for our parasocial relationship that we had with Neil Gaiman. And we processed it through that video. I've never responded to more comments in all my years. I've only been on YouTube for 4 years, but I've answered every single one. And the exchanges and the perspectives and the different ideas that people were bringing forth, that is what community is about, right? Talking about different viewpoints, talking about different sides. It was a thing of glory for me. So, not trying to replicate it, but another article came out today. Well, the article came out today. So I thought we could process it together. The article, I'm not going to, here's first and foremost, this is an essay. This is an opinion piece. I'm not here to rehash. I'm not here to point fingers. I'm not here to do any of that. I'm here to talk about my experience being a fan of Neil Gaiman and how I am moving forward. A lot of people online today were talking about how they were unable to read the entire article, how it was too triggering, it was too disappointing. There are massive trigger warnings in that article. If you are sensitive at all to issues of sexual assault, anything like that, read the article at your own choosing, doing whatever. But I will tell you that it is dark and it is telling. And it is, in my opinion, very well done for an investigative journalist piece in Vulture magazine. That's out of New York Magazine. So we're not going to talk about the elements of that. My role here is to talk about the stages of grief with you. And it's the stages of grief with talking about Neil Gaiman. Where do we go from here as super fans? Where do we go from here as fans of his fiction? Where do we go? What do we do with our books? What do we do with our collections? What do we do with our autographed copies? What do we do with the memories that we've made? Let's hash it out and talk about it. All right? Okay, so stages of grief. I have some notes. Okay, number 1 is denial. I think I went through that in the first video. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, I will leave a card here for you to check that out. We have an individual that we've grown to love. If you're a super fan, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a casual fan, there must have been someone in your life that you were just like, oh, they're the best thing since sliced bread, you know? And Neil was that person because he didn't look like the rest of the authors. He dressed all in black. He had a quite charming personality, a wonderful accent. He was a humanitarian, huge supporter of refugees and refugee aid. He was a huge supporter of a number of charitable organizations. And we were all kind of proud to be fans of Neil. We're like, yeah, this is awesome. You know, look at the good stuff he's doing out there. And then the news broke in July that there's some allegations. And a lot of us just got sucker punched. You know, because we don't know what anyone is really like in their lives without living with them, without getting to know them. This right here is a parasocial relationship. You think you may know me, but do you really? You know, and we have to remember that, okay? So I think that was a big thing for a lot of us to get through, was the denial piece. This person that wrote these books that we fell in love with, this person that captured our hearts with a little bit of magic, a little bit of darkness. You know, the days when he would do signings and he would be, you know, staying until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, signing books for fans. Like, that was massive. The next stage of grief is anger. And that comes from both sides. And I saw that in the last video. There's anger from fans towards Neil. And there's anger from fans towards the accusers. I saw it from both sides. I would say anger and disappointment more than anything, in my experience. I was angry that someone could allegedly do that. I'm 52 years old, okay? I think I may have been around the block, but yet I'm still surprised every day at the stuff that I learn. And when you learn stuff regarding one of your favorite authors, ugh, it just crushes you a little on the inside, you know? Like a real letdown. And I'm talking like he's past tense. He was one of us, you know? It's like, here's an introvert just like us. You know, he's not a real people-y type person. You know, he'd rather be home writing and not, you know, getting out in the public eye and all that stuff. We related to him. I think that's part of the charm and why we liked him so much. So the third step in the grief process is bargaining. We're trying to say, well, you know, maybe, ... Not trying to make excuses, but kind of making excuses, you know. People think that there might be a bounce back. People might say that there's a comeback. People might say, oh, wait till he makes a statement. Wait till he does something. It's been crickets since July. I'm pretty good with staying up to date with pop culture and, you know, whatever's going on. There's nothing. There's really nothing. So I don't think bargaining is in the cards right now. I don't think after this Vulture article, things are going to turn around. That's my opinion. We'll see what happens. Depression. I think that's where a lot of us are kind of landing now, because this Vulture article really just compounded what we learned from the first utterings of the accusations and what allegedly went on. Now people are like, what do we do? You know, I don't want to look at his books anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. That's your call. I'm saying don't make any rash decisions. I was over on TikTok a little earlier, and somebody said that they didn't know what to do with their books. And they actually said they were going to burn their books. That's a statement right there. You know, I cannot condone that. You know, you do you. You do you. For me personally, all of his books are turned around in my library because I did do a thing where all of my books were turned around. And I didn't turn his back around yet. And to be honest with you, all of his books mean something to me. So, you know, last Christmas I got a beautiful, absolutely beautiful copy of one of his books. And the artistry that went into that edition and the time and the patience, it's not just, it's Neil's words, but it's not just him. There's a team behind it, right? There's an artistic team behind it. And I feel that if you're going to do something rash, like burn a book, I get why, but it's also disrespectful to the other people that were associated with the work that went into getting that published. Does that make sense? So personally, for me, I think that I'm keeping the books. And I'm keeping them out. Right now, like I said, they're turned backwards. But I think one day I'm going to want to revisit it. And when I revisit it, I'm not going to think about this stuff. I'm going to think about how the words impacted me at that time. I'm going to think about the memories that I have of where I was when I read that book. Yeah, I can recall stuff like that. You know, the ocean at the end of the lane, I can tell you it was summer, it was during a sunset, and I laid on a bed in a spare bedroom and I read that sucker from cover to cover. And I was just swept up in it. And I said, I think I like reading again. And I did. And I did. You know, I remember getting Nordic Tales, waiting for it in the mail. And I ordered a signed copy from the Strand. And I ordered a copy for my best friend. I got her a signed copy too. And she was just so excited. And was it that one or was it the other one? I don't know. It was a signed copy of something, but I surprised her with it. And that's the memory that I want with that book, not this stuff. You know, we have to remember that he's not the first to get in this type of a situation. There's authors from the past. You know, there's always been problematic authors. Okay, what do you do with problematic authors? People still read H.P. Lovecraft today. And from what I understand, he was kind of problematic. You know, how do you separate the art from the author? Just to think, if the internet was around back in like the 1700s or the 1800s, do you know how many authors would probably be in real trouble? So that's my decision. That's my decision. Moving forward, I'm not buying any of his books. He was an automatic author of mine. Not anymore. Not anymore. And that's my decision. That's my personal decision. If I want to read something that he writes, I'm going to pick up the book secondhand. I'm going to wait until copies are available on eBay or something like that. He's not going to get the funds directly. I'm not going to take out the book from the library. No. So I think that covers the depression piece. I think the other thing that's heartbreaking is that, you know, you've had all this time. Don't you want to say something? You know you have this huge community of people behind you. Maybe he's hunkering down and writing about this experience. Maybe he's seeking help. Maybe he's getting help for whatever is the issue. Maybe he's trying to better himself, but we don't know because there's been no press releases or anything like that. So don't know, don't care. And that pretty much brings me to the last stage of grief, which is acceptance. Can't change it. We just have to decide how you want to move forward. What do you want to do with your books that you own? How do you want to proceed moving forward? Do you want to continue reading his work? Personally, I do, because I loved his style. I loved his prose. He just brings you into this world. But again, I'm not going to purchase the books firsthand. I'm not going to get them from the library. I'm going to ensure that the money does not hit his pocket. You know, the article is extremely long and it's extremely detailed, and there are elements in there that are very difficult to read. You know, again, I urge you, if you're going to read the article, just to go in with your, best wits about you. It's not an easy read, and a lot of people couldn't read it. So I think we covered the 5 stages of grief regarding Neil Gaiman, the author, the person that we thought we knew. So that article hit today, and I wonder what the fallout is going to be. I know the initial reaction from a lot of people. The article, again, was well written, well done, very thorough. And the scary thing is that it read like fiction. It read like a story. And we'll see if statements are made or anything like that. But, it's just tough, being a former fan and seeing someone that you thought you knew, one of us. And it wasn't that way at all. There's been no news regarding what is happening. So, like I said, this is my opinion piece. This is not me telling you what to think, what to do, anything like that. I respect any and all opinions. If you're going to leave me a comment, leave it with the highest good, with the highest kindness. That's all I ask. And I guess that's it. All right, everyone. Let's just move on. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If this is your first time here and you enjoy my content, feel free to subscribe. I would really enjoy that. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. And I will see you in my next video, whether that be sooner or later. So until next time, everyone, goodbye for now. And happy reading.